Hello there my friends, and welcome to Selrahc Games miniature review of Frostgrave Barbarians 2. From Northstar military figures, this kit is perfect for making female warriors, characters, and adventurers for many fantastic games. Inside the box, you get 4 of the main sprues and 2 sprues of bases, for a total of 20 multi-part hard plastic miniatures. And with the cost per box of $25 to $30, that means each miniature costs about $1.50 or less. This set was released in autumn of 2022 as the counterpart to the original Frostgrave Barbarians kit. This makes a total of 3 different kits that have a 1 and 2 for Frostgrave. The Wizards 1 and 2, Soldiers 1 and 2, and now Barbarians 1 and 2. If a person has all 3 of the Frostgrave 2 kits, like I do, you have a ton of potential for kit bashing and converting female characters, warriors, and adventurers. Look at how smooth and crisp the details are on the myriad of head and weapon options. Axes, swords, hammers, shields, bows and crossbows, many different hair and face styles, as well as poses for the bodies, pouches, sheathed weapons and other gear, and these amazing spiked gauntlets or punch daggers. If one wanted to make a lady pit fighter, you are set. I am very impressed by how crisp these miniatures look. I love the different poses of the bodies. I'm excited to start building them. What the? Oh well. In my first miniature review video, a lot of viewers suggested getting a pair of sprue cutters or nippers like these. I have to say they are incredible. You can expect a review coming in the future. Here's the parts I'm going to use for the first one, a fighter with a two-handed sword. The details on these figures are so nice, they barely took any cleanup or removal of mold lines. In addition to the sprue cutters, I've also got this glue made specifically for plastic miniatures, and it is amazing. At the time of filming, I was living with a forest nymph, and she actually picked out the parts for this miniature and I made it for her. And now that we've got a fighter with a big sword, let's make a few different kind of adventurers. This one might be my favorite. I love how wicked that axe looks and the wildness of her face and hair as she charges forward. This body, I wanted to make a ranger with a bow and arrow, but I wanted her head to be a bit more reserved, so I looked to another Northstar kit, the Frostgrave Mercenaries 2, where I found a head I really liked for her. This one I wanted to make into a spellcaster, but while we had the sprues, I wanted to see how compatible the rest of the parts were between the Barbarians and the Stargrave. And that's the cool thing about the Frostgrave, Stargrave, and Oathmark ranges, and what makes Northstar such a great company is because all the pieces are more or less compatible with each other, like these Frostgrave Wizard sprues. So, I held her body up to some pieces on the wizard sprues to try and collect some that I thought were interesting and had good potential. Here's the pieces that I was really considering and that I thought looked great with the body and pose before I settled on this skull and this sick looking dagger. And I loved this head, because it looks like her hair is being blown around by the winds of magic. So from one sprue and a few pieces in the bits box, we have a very exciting party of characters. Here they are with a variety of other Frostgrave figures. To make up the difference in bases, I grabbed an extra one of the disc bases to add a little more height. And so you can see they scale extremely well with Frostgrave Barbarians, Soldiers 2, Barbarians again, Cultists, and Soldiers. Even the zombie soldiers. And here they are with other fantasy miniatures, some Frostgrave, some Oathmark, some Wargames Atlantic, a Games Workshop Chaos Marauder, and a Reaper Troll. So you can see how they stand next to some monsters they might encounter. In my opinion, they scale extremely well with other 28mm miniatures. From Games Workshop Old Skaven, Wargames Atlantic Skeletons, Conquistadors, and Dark Age Irish, and an old Games Workshop Orc. They even fit in perfectly with other science fiction miniatures like Stargrave Troopers, Wargames Atlantic Cannon Fodder, other Wargames Atlantic and Stargrave kits, and an old Space Orc. So, they're beautiful miniatures, but what can you use them for? Well, for starters, Frostgrave, a game where wizards and their friends search for treasure in a ruined city, battle monsters, and each other. The huge variety of soldiers and characters you can make with this kit is perfect for Frostgrave, and another game, Dungeons and Dragons. I absolutely love this kit because with one sprue I was able to make a barbarian, a fighter, a ranger, a wizard, and a bard by only adding a couple pieces from my bits box. I didn't show the making of my tiefling bard in this video because soon I'll have a new kit bash and conversions video on how to make a tiefling character. Just like in my review video of the Wargames Atlantic Conquistadors, I feel like these Frostgrave Lady Barbarians are perfect for exploring another ruined city, the city of Mordheim. In Mordheim, players control small warbands of around 10 to 20 warriors as they search for treasure in the ruins of a once great city. While many monsters and horrors lurk within the city, by far the biggest enemy you'll face is other players and their warbands, of which there are a great variety. There are several different human warbands, and then there's warbands that are monsters themselves. These miniatures would serve as excellent human mercenaries, in particular from the city of Mordheim, where the warriors are renowned for their savagery and strength. However, when it comes to finding a place in your games for miniatures like these, the only limit is your imagination, creativity, and resourcefulness. Here's two that I'm kit bashing for a Sisters of Sigmar warband, an all-female group and one of the few considered the good guys. Speaking of kit bashing and a lack of good guys, Forbidden Psalm is a newer skirmish game that I have been loving. In Forbidden Psalm, you control a group of 5 friends trying to make the best of the end of the world. It is a dark, desperate, and hilarious game where your small group of weirdos will battle monsters such as skeletons, evil wizards, vampires, zombies, and much, much worse. Forbidden Psalm can be played solo, cooperatively, or competitively, and kit bashing is strongly encouraged to make your own unique characters. And if Forbidden Psalm sounds interesting to you, for the rest of November 2023, there is a Kickstarter for a re-release definitive edition of the rules and the first expansion and much, much more. I looked at the cost of buying each of these individually versus backing the Kickstarter, and the Kickstarter is a great value. It has new artwork, a collection of bonus stuff, and for anyone who is intrigued by the sound of Forbidden Psalm, this would be a great way to get started. I will link it in the comments and the description below. It's easy to see how these warriors fit into my favorite games as a variety of different characters and adventurers. It can be hard to find cool female miniatures for your games, whether it's war games or role-playing games, and I think you can't go wrong with these. The variety you get in the set and their compatibility with other North Star miniatures makes them an amazing kit. Thank you for watching, my friends. Until next time.